Welcome to Elena's Barre Low Impact Full Body Workouts. On this channel you find different format workouts that will help you to tone up your muscles, improve your posture, gain overall strength, endurance, balance and flexibility. Check more classes on Elena's Barre Patreon. Join us for my crazy piano practice on Sundays. We also talk about controversial topics that can trigger you. You participate in our conversations voluntarily at your own risk. Read the disclaimer in the description box. If you don't want to be mentally or physically challenged, I suggest that you skip this video. Thank you so much for your understanding. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to Elena's Barre Low Impact Full Body Workouts. We have Sam today. Great to see you, Sam. Yeah, thank you for joining us. And Emma, as usual, thank you, Emma. Melody won't be able to join us today. She told me that she couldn't make it, but she will run a class tomorrow. So if you'd like to join us for yoga/Pilates class at 9:15 in the morning on Sunday, we would love to have you guys. And we have Accounting Sheep. Good to see you, Sheep. How are you doing? Yeah. Did you miss Sam, Sheep? It's been a while, right, Sam? Good. Well, it's great to have you back. Today we have an interesting topic. We are going to talk about why modern women, I shouldn't call like most women, but a lot of them are single today, especially when they are in their 40s. And before we start that, I would like to get some of the insights. Emma, if you don't mind, how old are you?
I'm 48.
48. Okay. So what's your status?
Single.
What? Oh, what are you asking me?
Well, Sam, I'm not asking you anything yet, okay? Wait until we start talking about the white knights, then I'll ask you. I know that you're not that, but we will get to the white knights too. So, okay. Emma, what are your reasons? Why do you think you are single? I'm just curious.
I'm not really that interested, to be honest. I've had appalling taste in men in the past. I do take accountability for that. I'm not, blaming them. And I suppose nowadays I'm more on a spiritual path, so I'm not really that interested. I'm probably not the best person to be going at for this.
Can I ask the question in a different way, a different angle?
Yeah.
What was your parents' dynamic like in your household?
My mum's been married twice. My real dad wasn't really around. We lived with him till I was about 10, but he wasn't around a great deal. So I can't really answer what their dynamic was like. But when she remarried, and the man that she's with now, they've been married 35 years. And yeah, it's the more traditional sort of role, relationship.
And now that you know what you know now, how do you judge that man as like a partner for his wife?
Well, my stepdad.
Yes. How would you judge both of them?
Really good role models, for a relationship. And yeah, they're
really the first one too. Was he absent because he had to like work and had other things going, or
living his own life? I think he was working a lot of the time as well, but yeah, it wasn't a great relationship.
Sure.
But my mum still took on the traditional role. She worked, but because they had, she had to for money. But yeah, it was.
So how old were you when your mother remarried? Sorry, Sam, I'll let you ask your question.
I was probably about 12.
12. Okay. So not super.
Yeah, 12, 13. Yeah.
Small. Mm-hmm. Okay. What was your question, Sam?
I was going to ask if I can find my train of thought again.
If I could find the type of relationship that they've got, then I'd be happy.
Oh, I was going to ask about what was your like brief summary of, excuse me, I'm drinking carbonated water. What was your like the steps you took from moving out of the house and like the logistics of your lifestyle? What was that like in different, phases of your life? I moved out, I was in an apartment, or I was with roommates doing this or that.
I left home at 16. I went straight to college and lived at college for a year, and then I was out working at 17. and I just moved around an awful lot.
Okay.
I worked with horses, so that's a seasonal job. So you literally had to go wherever there was work.
Oh, okay. Well, she's a horse girl.
Oh yeah.
So
Well, see, you wouldn't even have ability to commit since you were moving a lot, right? So I almost feel like I had something similar going on in my past when I was traveling a lot, let's say, and for work. I was working with teenagers and children, and I didn't have time. Dating was something that was not on display, and it actually helps with, like, for women when they are too busy when they're young, like to work or study. It helps them to preserve their low body count in a way, but it's not helpful in terms of settling down.
keep them on the plow. Don't let them go out in town.
And also, I mean, like, since I've been more settled and, living in the same area, it's the population of the town I live in is 7,500.
Oh, okay. It's more like a village.
So it's a small pond, and most of the fish have already been caught.
Right. So the only option for you would be to actually get out. Kind of what Kate Middleton did. Like, go out there, catch your fish and stay there, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, Sheep is saying something. Oh, this is the new dating service. Well, not yet, Sheep. Not yet. Yeah. Emma is single but had a long-term relationship with a moose for a while. They even moved in together. Oh, Sheep. Yeah, Emma. I love Emma. She's so great, and I honestly wish like you had somebody, Emma, because you're. I don't think, like, in comparison to everything I've seen out there, I don't think you're the worst. But I'm a woman. I have my subjectivities in there.
It's funny because I meet guys. This is the story of my life. I meet guys. They like me. They get to know me, and then they're like, "Whoa, that's a bit of fun." But the people that have known me for like 30 years will actually say, "We don't understand why you're single." So it's I know that I have trouble getting past the getting to know you stage.
So what do your guys say? Have they even told you, like, when they break up with you or you break up with them, what's the reason? How do they explain it, or they just leave you?
I've been cheated on.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
No,
Yeah, you don't have to answer. I'm just curious.
There's a couple where I left them, but that was for quite serious reasons.
Okay.
But the guys that have broken up with me have usually cheated.
Oh, they cheated on you.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so
this is where I see modern men today. Okay, I acknowledge women have huge problems, right? We have delusions, we have entitlement, right? We have all sorts of problems, right, with our personality that we have to sort out. But men don't help it. Men
I don't know
are.
If problems is the right word.
How
about, like, I don't know if problems. You said problems with your personality. I think women have a lot of different features that do a lot of different things. I don't know if it's all bad.
Okay. Well, it could be problematic for some people, right? Let's say I just find it interesting how good men, the men who want to commit, they tend to get involved with some total bitch out there who cheats on them, who mistreats them, who doesn't have any respect, any loyalty to this guy who treats you well, right? But then we see these asshole guys, and I don't really want, like, I use it in a nice way, okay? Like those guys who are spinning plates, okay, who decide that monogamous relationship is not for them, or they don't want to commit.
So now if you spin plates, you're an asshole.
Well, in a way, like in
a
a feminist mindset, Sam, in a feminist mindset, okay? I'm trying to be, like, okay, how would a feminist approach it? I understand that they do it because they have options, and like if they don't want to commit, it's their choice, right? It's their decision. But I see these guys who are spinning plates, like they're complete assholes, and good women, like all women, basically like the assholes, you know.
I mean, I think one reason I'm single is and my mum has always said this, I'm a strong character or a strong personality. Don't get me wrong, in a relationship, I am more submissive, but I need a man that is a stronger character than me.
Oh, good luck with that, Em.
Yeah, I know. I need one that's going to keep me in check, if you know what I mean, and keep me on my toes.
Good luck with that. You know what? My mom used to tell me the same thing. And you know what? It actually sets us up for failure because
I've had a couple relationships where I've been aware that I've started to walk all over the guy, and I'm like, I'm walking away because it's not fair to do that to someone. So I will actually walk away from a relationship rather than trample all over a guy.
Okay. So you don't actually try to suppress this over-controlling feature, like Sam said, in you. You are immediately trying to kind of get out of the relationship.
I'm not going to try and change somebody or, you know, to suit me, if that makes sense. And
Yeah, but what about you changing yourself to suit that personality, that guy?
I do to a degree. I realized very early on, like in my 20s, that I was turning into someone to suit that person, if that makes sense.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Not being true to myself.
So I got a question for you. So, you know, these questions are asking about, like, when you're in the relationship, are you being, you don't want to change like immediately who each other are to suit the situation, but do you approach, let's say you have like 10 boyfriends in a row and they all don't work out, and you know there's likely something that you could improve on yourself. So do you take a general approach to life and say, well, what are the things that I could possibly like redirect so that when I am in a relationship, maybe things go smoother?
I'm always on the path of self-improvement. That's one thing I'm always doing. I learn from my mistakes, and I do adjust accordingly. But maybe this is an area I need to work on. I suppose when I realized when I was younger that I was changing for somebody to be somebody that I wasn't, that they would like, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I decided, no, I'm not going to change anymore. But I adjust myself according to the relationship. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. Yeah. I'm not a complete, blinker. I'm not completely tunnel visioned.
Do you think that there's going to be a portion, let's say you meet a man who's got a really strong frame.
Yep.
There's going to be a portion of your life and your, like, the way you do things that is going to have to change to be part of his frame.
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, cool. That's cool.
See, most women don't actually have problem as long as they meet the strong guy. The question that guys should ask themselves, whether these women are worthy of their investment and time, whether they want to actually work with them. If a woman is unmanageable, and see, Emma, this is why I'm saying, like, Emma is not probably the worst out there. I've seen women who are complete bitches. They won't even adjust a little bit. The moment something goes the wrong way and they don't get what they want, they don't get 100% of what they want, they immediately disregard the guy. They replace him with somebody else, right? So whether these men with the masculine frame want to deal with the women.
Wow.
Especially the entitled women, the amount of effort it's going to take to break a wild woman. She's like a horse, right? The methods that men would have to use on her, they are not even legal. But she would respect him. She would actually love him in the end after the work is done, and he will have to keep doing it. This is why a lot of men don't get involved with the modern women today, because their life, they value their life, basically. because it's either that or she can falsely accuse him, or maybe even not falsely, because this is what she will need to happen to her in order for her to realign and readjust her delusional views. This is how far gone women are into their feminist delusions. Yeah. Okay, we have Ashton here, and she has birthday. Happy birthday, dear friend. She turned 21. Yeah, she turned 21 today. Cool.
Happy birthday.
Let's check what Sheep is writing to us here. Ek, the pretty girl is talking to me. What should I do? Cover self with wool and jumps into bag of giant cotton balls to hide. Sheep, you're so funny. Yeah, well, this is where a lot of men, I don't know, I'm probably the wrong person to say this. So we have Sam here to correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of men who don't know their value, right? They either don't have self-confidence, or they've been brainwashed into believing that they are not worthy. They need to man up. They need to do better, right? So these men, they lose it when attractive woman pays attention to them. They're like, oh, this girl, how Glenn Lawrence would say, touch my pee-pee. So now I'm going to give up everything. I'm going to give up my frame. I'm going to do what she tells me to do. And then as a result, this girl, because all women biologically are wired to want strong, rational, masculine men who have masculine presence, who have the masculine frame, they're not interested in this guy. They shit test him, and if he fails the shit test, women will disregard him. Women will move on, as long as they have the looks and they perceptually realize that they can attract a better man out there who will not fail their shit test, who will be preserving their masculine frame. You see? So we have like a double-sided problem here. Like women on one hand, lots of delusion, lots of toxicity and entitlement, and men on the other hand, and we are going to talk about the white knights. Yeah, the white knights are, I think they are the worst, because they facilitate this delusion. They feed into the female primary agenda of getting more power for women, more socioeconomical privileges, and then they actually don't serve any benefit to other men, even the ones who want to portray the good masculine traits. Sam, what do you think about it?
About what specifically?
Like about the white knights. I'm sure that you, as a man with some rational thinking and masculine traits, what's your take on this white knights?
Well, I mean, I was, everybody goes through a journey in life and learning about who they are and what reality is and things like that. So I can't say that I'm always the way, like I've changed. I've not always been like this. So being someone who's been in that position and, hearing a description of a white knight, I was very literally one of those. So, when you're in it, everything in the world is reaffirming what you're doing. So it's like there's no possible way you can break out of it until basically something so bad happens that you realize that maybe this is not the best way to do things. So, it is unfortunate that there are so many men in that position, because that's the way our culture trains men to be.
Mm-hmm.
But, you help who you can, and you get people to think about their situations, and that's all you can really do. You can't force anyone to like if you go up to them and just explain to them what the white knight is, and you tell them what's happening, the most you can ever do is try to introduce ideas into their head so that it can float around. Yeah. And what's likely going to happen is that it's going to, they're going to think about it. Most people aren't stupid. And they'd be like, well, okay, well, what makes sense? And there's probably going to be some kind of rational understanding of like, oh yeah, this get you to start thinking. And then the more they start to accept that there's a possibility that their reality was not the real reality and they're going to have to undergo a paradigm shift, that's a very difficult process. And
it is, yeah.
it might shut that thinking down. It might say, no, that's too difficult. Like I'm going to not believe that. And it's something that their brain may or may not even let them do because it's just so self-destructive. So
yeah. What does it depend on whether men can say no to it and reject what everybody else is telling them? Like, because you mentioned that you were in that position.
Yeah, I would say
everybody, like all of the men, were kicked into their teeth to some degree, right? And they realized that, wait a second, this is not the truth. This is not the reality that is happening around me. So what do you think gets involved into the thinking process?
Well, everybody's situation is different, so I can't speak for other men. But what I can say is that it's likely takes multiple ice baths, right? You need to be shock treated, and of course, some people are blessed to have like grown up around a very positive masculine father, positive feminine mother, all those things. So like they're going to need less of that. But for those that are just so wrapped up the other way, then they're going to need the shock treatment, and probably multiple. And hopefully it's when they're slightly young, because they just have more time to rebuild. But it like when life is going good enough, it takes like why would you change the status quo? Especially when there's so many things in the world, like when you put religion in, you mix religion. If you mix, this is why Rollo makes such a deal about how important it is, not important, how much more difficult it is when you've blended religion with blue pill ideologies and you're a white knight, is because the religion is such a heavy like backdrop behind. It's like, all this stuff's going bad. Well, religion will tell you why. Religion will explain things. Religion will make you feel better about it.
I wish Glenn Lawrence could join us for specifically this topic. Maybe I'll convince him next time. I need to send him a message beforehand before we start this, because he talks about religion a lot, and we had quite a few videos with him about religion, how basically the feminist culture infiltrated the church. So what you see happening in church today, men go to the priest, right? They listen to the priest, and the priest tells them, basically, do what the woman tells you to do, you idiot, man up, do better, be a servant leader. So the culture determines the church. It's no longer the words of God. People are misled in church today. And then I get it why it's so dangerous, because when men listen to what their priests are saying, and their priests are effectively misleading men, but not only men, their priests are also misleading women into making them thinking that women can do whatever they want to do. They can claim their second virginity or whatever, the welcome the horse, and everybody is so great and accept it here.
Which is in and of itself not a bad thing. I mean, forgiveness is a great thing. We don't want to
but there should be consequences to bad behavior.
Yes. Well, there are consequences. That's the thing, is that like the whole discussion we're trying to have is that we're trying to describe to people there is a reality that exists that people are going to be affected by. And because you think it doesn't, or you think there's this different reality, you're not going to understand why your life isn't going the way you want it to. So when you say that, like what was the last thing you just said? That they're I don't remember.
The church, you mean?
Yeah.
Or like how they are being brainwashed in the church. It doesn't only happen in the church. We see the confirmation of what the church is saying. All I'm saying is that church is a very strong institution. This is
Yes.
something that people will go for. A lot of wars, a lot of political and economical changes, reformations happened through religion, if you look back in history. So when people place so much trust on this institution that effectively misleads them, we have a problem. We have a problem because men don't behave like men anymore, and we see a lot of feminist bitches out there complaining about it, right? But women don't behave like women anymore either. So when women were complaining about the abusive behavior of men before the church started going woke and crazy, church overcorrected the behavior of men only. It didn't touch the behavior of women. So it took women's words quite literally. But then if you watch actually what is written in the Bible, Eve was the one who was tempted to take the forbidden fruit, right? So we are not supposed to trust women. Church betrayed men, it trusted women. And now women are presiding, women are ruling the world, women are castrating men, and then they are wondering where are all the good men.
Right. So it's exactly, yeah. So it's exactly that point, is that the thing you said was that we need consequences
Yeah.
for women that are acting like this. And the reality is that there are the consequences, and these women, if they may not even see it, because if they make bad decisions and then they, become a new virgin and they end up with some nice dude who's going to take them for as they are, and forgiveness is all that thing, right? Which is not bad, but like if that happens, it's very likely that he's going to be a certain type of person who like out of scarcity, frankly, is going to select a woman like that. And therefore, that's going to probably give her a less than satisfactory relationship long term. And she's going to suffer from that, just like he will. And so that is the consequence. There are consequences. So what we're trying to do is, like, we're trying to talk about it. We're trying to make people know that there are consequences. Because, like, I'm not going to try to tell all the hoes out there to go be better, because life's going to do to them what's going to do. And like, I can't change that. But I can tell them, hey, if you want to have a conversation, here's some things that might happen. Here's some things that are statistically likely to happen. Let's just look at numbers, right? Oh, okay.
Check this comment. Oh my God, Shep, you're so funny. Yeah, we need consequences. But then when you see that these white knights, because they don't know the Bible, or if they read the Bible, they're being brainwashed into thinking that God hasn't said that. Because if you go to church and they are twisting, they are only picking the least objectionable parts of the Bible to present to people, and then teach them in a way that men are servant leaders. Men have no authority. They have 100% of responsibility and zero authority. What is it? It's slavery, right? This is what Rollo Tomasi keeps saying, and I 100% agree with him. So church doesn't teach men how to take authority. It teaches men how to give up their authority so that women can take more decisions. Women can be strong, powerful, and independent women, right? So it doesn't teach women how to be traditional women either. And Michael pointed out here that a lot of women want traditional men, but women don't want to be traditional themselves. Well, Michael, I see they put a title, traditional, in front of their name. It's just virtue signaling. They are trying to still sell themselves, just on a different level, not as whores are selling themselves on OnlyFans or in the porn industry, right? But it's a different kind of game that they are playing. They are not traditional themselves. because they obviously don't know the Bible, or even if they claim they know the Bible, they know the infiltrated version of the Bible, the infiltrated hermeneutics, the interpretation of the Bible that has been presented to them in their church. So they call themselves traditional without even realizing where that tradition is coming from and what it implies. If we want to look into traditional, and I pointed it out in my article on the Substack, guys, if you're reading my articles, write a few words there, okay? Tell me what you think about the topics, okay? We need to get back to the biblical patriarchy. We need to get back to what the Bible is actually saying. We can't trust this woman who put, I'm a traditional woman out there. Okay, and then she flashes her butt and her pretties out there on social media, portraying to everyone how great of a wife she is, or like how well she can cook. You're still selling it. You're still selling it. You're not actually living the lifestyle. Maybe you do. I don't know, and I honestly don't really care. But what you are signaling to other men is that you are better than other women out there, and maybe you are not happy with your man because you are still showing yourself off on social media. We talked about one of those thread wives, and it's the whole movement. There are more than just one girl. We just picked her, but we will have to talk about other girls as well. They are virtue signaling to other men that they are better than other women, but they still don't talk about submission. Why? Well, because they have to feed in with the feminist ideology, because if they try to appeal to the masses, they need to comply with the trend. And what's the common trend now? Women can have a cake and eat it too, so let's sell it, right? It's a feminist idea that women have, that she can be a mother, she can be an entrepreneur, she can be a wife, she can do all sorts of things, mother of 3, mother of 10.
She can have it all.
She can have it all. This is the idea, and this is what feminism was promoting to women. Ladies, if you go to work, you can do everything. You can be everything you want to be. You can be a superhero if you want to be. And this is why you see, when you analyze content, if you pay attention to the women who call themselves traditional, you see, I'm a wife. As if, like, okay, a noble thing to do, I guess, good for you. You will be taken care of later on, right? No, but they are showing it publicly. They are advertising it. I'm a wife. You should love me. You should get me, give me more attention. So how authentic is this? I wish it was. I wish this woman well, okay? But based on what I know and the way they present themselves, a lot of these traditional wives, they show cleavage. They show a lot of things, In addition to some extent, they show how submissive they are in comparison to some other women out there. But these are women. We are not supposed to trust them. Go back to the Bible, guys.
I got 2 things I wanted to add here. So there's a gentleman. I need to plug in my computer when I'm done talking about this. I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh, yeah. So the first one I'm talking about is I hate Instagram for this very reason, right? So the first thing is that I presume you hate Instagram because it's not working for you. And I mean like not working for you isn't like, it's like you suck at it. I mean like not working for you isn't like it's not producing results for you. And I would say that like just like any tool, any social media, you need to learn how to use it, and then you learn how to capitalize on it because it's here and everyone's using it. So like,
yeah, true.
If you just sit there and hate it, it's like, okay, you can do your thing, but everybody else is not everybody else. Lots of people that are going to use it are going to use it. So like, make it work for you, dude. But the other comment was, hey, don't hate the player, hate the mating strategy. For Mr. Pavel Merton. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. But, first of all, don't hate anything. Like, don't hate the player because everyone's just doing their own thing. And don't hate the mating strategy either, because the mating strategy exists for a reason. It exists because we want women to select the best, because that keeps them alive. These things are evolutionary adaptations to serve a purpose. And like, yes, they're like it because of social media and the way the whole world now works now, it makes it way more difficult for a lot of men. And it makes a lot of like women incentivized in the wrong directions. It messes a whole bunch of stuff up. But that doesn't mean we want the mating strategy like to change. Like, think of how like it's real simple. When you know what the mating strategy is, it's like, oh, well, I just have to be really awesome. Okay. And like, because women are so different in so many different ways, and there's so many levels of attraction and different kinds of attraction, you don't even have to be the best at anything. Just like be good at a bunch of things and like be well-rounded and like know how to work the system. You'll be fine. But like, oh, I just need to climb the hierarchy. Like, that's a goal. Great. If they didn't have that mating strategy of wanting the best, there's no guarantee anything's going to last, right? So if I just know that I'm just like constantly trying to be the best and climb the stuff, and I pick a long-term partner, right, and I get married, I can be reasonably confident that I can rely on this person like remaining with me, right? I can invest in this person because I understand how it works. If this mating strategy didn't exist, I'd be screwed because I wouldn't know what to do. And frankly, if it didn't exist, nothing would ever get done, because the whole premise of the world being built and the infrastructure that we have is men trying to climb that ladder. It's like, oh, I'll do more. Oh, I'll work overtime. Oh, I'll build those roads. Oh, women want to live in nice houses. Oh, let's go build some nice houses. There's a market for all these things because that exists. So we can't hate it. We just got to learn how to work with it. That's all I got to say. My 2 cents.
Yeah, don't hate the mating strategy. Don't hate the design that God has created, right? And those people who say that, oh, Jesus is my boyfriend, another common phrase. It's one of the reasons why you ladies are still single, okay? Jesus is not your boyfriend.
At least I can't claim that as a reason.
What, dear?
At least I can't claim that as a reason.
Oh, good. Yeah, you have other reasons. Yeah, but I often hear it on social media, and if you just like click through it and analyze what's going on there, this is one of the reasons why nobody wifed you up, because nobody can compete against Jesus. You set the standard so high for yourself, and none of you have gotten Jesus yet. I've yet to see like which one of you is actually dating him. Okay, I want to say bad things about Jesus, but like seriously, there are so many girls out there who are selling this message, and they truly believe. And why do they believe it? I bet church had something to do with it. This kind of delusion, coming from mass media, coming from church, coming from all of the institutions, it's not going to help. Yeah. Okay, let's see.
There's
Michael
more comments in here that I would love to talk about.
Okay, Sam, you pick the comment and then you talk about it.
This is one of them. Leave it up here. So I don't like Instagram because women are constantly messaging other men. Okay, why is that? You got to ask yourself, like why is that a problem? Like, do you need to, if you want a woman to be committed to you, does she need to live alone with you on an island? Like, taken to an extreme? Like, is it a problem? Like, I'm not saying that when women message other men on Instagram that you're cool, like that you're safe. I'm not saying that either, like in a relationship. But the very fact that that's a reason you don't like Instagram just speaks to the fact that, one, it's clearly like you want to be the other dude. You want to be the men they're messaging. Like, be that guy. Because you're not there and that's happening to you. Like, that's just a feedback. That's the world giving you feedback. Like, we're all here to help. We want the best for everybody. So like, take that feedback, run with it, and like change that situation. So, you know, I don't like Instagram because women are constantly messaging other men. So yeah, just be the other men that they're messaging. Like, and then you win.
So what you
with
are telling
Instagram.
him is be the 4.5% that women find attractive.
No,
to
not
men.
necessarily. So like
Okay.
the 4.5%, like that women would initiate conversation with and pursue, that would be great. Yeah. I mean, like, why not
Yeah.
pursue the best goal? Like, why would you not want to be the 4.5%? Cool. But you know, you don't have to be the 4.5% just to be like having pleasant conversation, positive conversation with women. Like, I don't particularly believe like a lot in like chatting, like on messages, because like if I'm gonna have a conversation with somebody, I'd rather be in person or maybe at least on a
True.
phone.
Yeah.
But you know, that not the best. But so that was one of the comments. And the other one was Instagram makes women constantly be contacted by other men. And again, that's a problem only if you like aren't like, yes, it opens up the pool of competition, right? And who suffers the most from competition? The people that don't work hard. So like if you want, like, don't change the game just to get more women or to make it easier. Like the game is the game. So we gotta grind. And then the other one was in a relationship, a couple should delete their Instagram accounts. So what I'm curious here, and I'd love to get your feedback, is do you think, like, for a woman, it sort of can depend on a few things, but for a man, if my Instagram account is tied to some business that I'm running and I am like, I'm benefiting a lot from this, and like, yes, I'm getting a lot of attention, and that like it's all some part of it, and that would, let's say, include like women as part of that attention, right? Why is that a bad thing? Like, presuming, let's say I'm a man of virtue, and well, you know, I am, but like presuming I'm a man of virtue, right? And like I've got 100 beautiful women on Instagram. I'm not 4.5% that women are messaging me. That's not bad. In fact, that can be extremely awesome for my relationship, because it would drive, let's say I'm married, it would drive my wife crazy. Do you know the kinds of wonderful
the
things she would
dread.
do for me? Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
dread game. Like, it's not bad. And it's like, if I've committed myself to my wife, like my word should mean it because I'm a man.
Well,
So,
not only your words, Sam, but also your actions will prove it, because you are staying with her, you are providing for her, you are taking care of her, right?
yes. And so like, I'm not going to entertain, first of all, I'm not going to entertain conversations over the internet, because like it's not that fun. And two, because let's say I've committed myself to my wife, that means there's going to be a whole bunch of things in my life that are time commitments to me, and having chats with girls on the internet is just not going to be that important. And I'm going to act on that because all these other things in my life are benefiting my family and my wife, So yeah.
But also, it's like if you've got loads of girls messaging you, or blokes, women, it's how you respond to that. Do you, it's whether you're entertaining them, isn't it? Whether you're, just because they're messaging you doesn't mean you're messaging them back.
Right.
So it's,
Yeah, there are a lot of men who would exercise their
I just laugh at them and delete them, but I don't ever message them back.
Yeah. And there are, fortunately or unfortunately, I don't even know whether it's right or wrong. I personally don't think it's healthy, but there are a lot of men in power who would entertain these women, who would exercise their options. From the biblical standpoint, it's not good, right? It's not healthy. If you are with one woman, ideally, pal, yeah, sure. Oh, what was it? Who was it, Michael? Like once you commit to a wife, or a wife commits to you, you should be together, right? But this is not the world we live in right now. And one of the ways to handle this is to give access to your spouse to your business account, right? And so that you can or maybe not the business account, like personal account, so that you can monitor and watch. Ideally, like trust and rely that she won't cheat on you, or he like, yeah. But we see women are more interested in actually having even a business account. A lot of women would say that, look, this is my money, and what's mine is mine, and what's yours, or what's his, your husband's, meaning, is also mine. So you will see that women would be less willing to give up their control and their Instagram accounts to be in a relationship with a man. Ideally, should women even bother with the Instagram? Should women even want to have Instagram when they are already committed, when a man is already taking care of them? No. She's settled. Why would she need it? This is the options that women have today. They want to have a cake and eat it too. They want to have a husband and have an option to still advertise themselves on social media. In case something goes wrong, because we've been teaching women, I'm not talking about myself, but I'm talking like the society, right? Schools and colleges, church, have been teaching women that women shouldn't trust men. Women should rely on themselves. Men are not trustworthy. Men are bad. Men are evil. Men will cheat on you. Men will betray you. All of this crap. It piled up, and then she became this toxic woman who wants to have her own social media account, and she doesn't allow anybody. So if you ask these girls, so if you meet a high value man and he tells you, would you give up your Instagram account for his commitment and long-term relationship? And she says, no, fuck you. I don't want to give up my freedom. I don't want to give up my extra money. I don't want to sacrifice anything to be in a relationship with you. But somehow he has to sacrifice his interests. Somehow he has to sacrifice his frame to be in a long-term relationship with her.
Can I touch on a point here?
Yeah, open on her end, close on his end.
Okay. So you made a great point about, so when you set it up and you asked, oh man, I still haven't plugged my computer in. Say something else. I gotta plug it in real quick.
Is your battery dying, Sam? It happened to me a few weeks ago when we were talking, and yeah, the battery was dying. Yeah, you see the point, guys, right? So it's not that your wife is not allowed to have any Instagram, but she needs to be mindful of what content she is posting there. If you see her exposing her booties out there, she doesn't value her relationship with you. She's still shopping. She's still looking for another dude out there. Okay? So just so that you know, and it's a legitimate concern that Michael brought up to us. I like, if we were living in an idealistic world, like, social media would not exist, right? But it's not the case. Everybody is using it. Are you back, Sam?
Yes, he is. I can see him.
Okay, good. Well, I mean, with the plug-in.
Yeah, I'm live. I'm plugged in. I'm charging.
Good.
So what I was gonna say was, if a man is ever asking if a girl would give up her Instagram, wrong move. When some, like Rolo keeps bringing up, is, would a girl ever feel naturally inclined to not want it? Because a lot of people just recognize what it does. It's marketing. It's advertising. Like that's what it is. That's what social media is doing. Like Instagram specifically. Like Facebook, okay, you can post family photos and like do other stuff, like different social media platform. But Instagram is just like all photo based. So, you know. So the first thing is, if you've asked that question, it's because she hasn't done it, and she hasn't done it because she doesn't want to do it already. She doesn't naturally want to do it. So you implanting the thought in her head, you know, by asking her, is just, it becomes a, what's the word, Elena? It becomes like a
like obligation.
Obligation. Yes.
Forcefully. Yeah, you're trying to.
because then you're trying to reason with her and say, well, here's why you shouldn't, right? Versus like maybe not everybody may understand the nature of Instagram, right? So if people have never used it before, like, okay, well, I guess we post photos and stuff. And for women that don't want to risk being perceived as continuing to advertise themselves will not do so. They don't want, because they don't want to. So but if at the same time, let's say the same woman does not know what Instagram does and is experimenting with it, like you, as a man in that situation, you can lead a girl to a conclusion only if she wants to have the conclusion, right? You're not manipulating. You're just, you're providing a little bits of information, right? So if, first of all, she doesn't know what Instagram does and you end up saying things like, well, it seems that most of what Instagram is about is this marketing and it's advertising. Women are kind of just, they're presenting their bodies, some in an appropriate way and some in a not appropriate way. But like, this is what it does. This is what it can do. And it's like, if she's in a place where she's thinking, well, I don't want to be advertising right now. Like maybe you're the guy that I want to be with. And that's this conversation that's happening. Then she's just going to not do it. Or if she does do it, she's going to post like pictures of socks or not her. Right. Like, and that's like defeats the purpose of Instagram, but like, whatever, do you, but like, they're going to just do it. Right now, the other thing was men need to be vetting women, right? Most men don't, because they have a scarcity. They're like, oh my God, a woman likes me. Let's capture that bag, put a bag on her head, take her home. Right. Like, so you need to have the abundance to be able to like, not only be willing to turn away a woman that likes you, but understand how to vet. And the only way you get there is, of course, if you have, like, maybe you don't have an abundance of women that like you, but if you at least have the mentality that I can say no to a woman, right? Or this is just a bad idea, I'm just not gonna, then you can set up like the vetting process. And so that all this stuff that I was talking about before is contained in that vetting process. It's like, oh, well, I would like to know where she's at in her head. And so I'm going to drop these little nuggets and she's either going to do whatever she does, because rule number one, we don't listen to the words, right? We pay attention to the actions. So whatever she does is going to be the thing that she wants. So if she starts not posting pictures of herself, or she just stops using Instagram, or she doesn't want people to contact her Instagram, all those, she's doing those things, well, then that's what she wants. And like, that's information. That's part of the vetting process. And frankly, if a woman is doing that, major green flags. Okay. Like that's a good thing. And you should try to incentivize and reward that behavior when it happens. But like, that should be done. And then Mr. Michael over here had some interesting comments that I wanted to touch on.
Which one?
Let's see. In a relationship, she shouldn't be contacting other men she's attracted to. So there's a lot of shouldn'ts in all of these. And I'll basically say like shouldn't is a function of what makes you feel comfortable or not comfortable. We're like, there's a lot of shoulds in this world. Like that's what religion is for. It's for sorting out like, what should we be doing? Right? What's the best thing for humanity? Like it's pretty inarguable that I shouldn't go kill the neighbor. Right? So if we can all agree that like, yeah, I shouldn't kill the neighbor, cool. But like our evolution is going to program us to do different things. Let's say the evolution, like the neighbor like accidentally kills my cat. Evolutionarily, I'm going to be very angry and I'm going to want to kill him. But that doesn't mean that I should do it. So like we're trying to sort out the shoulds. That's a whole other thing. But a lot of life is figuring out what is first and then worry about the shoulds. So she shouldn't be contacting other men she's attracted to. It's just a function of what you want. What she's actually going to do is something that we can talk about. And the next one, other men shouldn't be on a woman's mind when in a relationship. Again, this is like, you shouldn't be, I say shouldn't here, right? So it would not be wise to be concerned with what is on your woman's mind when in a relationship. And these are all tied to the abundance mentality thing, right? So presuming you've vetted and you have an abundance, then frankly, if these things are happening, and you don't know about them, right? Because the premise is like, well, what if she's sneakily doing these things? Like, I don't like it when other people, like men, are on her mind. Like, I'm going to ask her, like, are you thinking about other dudes? That's bad, right? And the other one, do you feel good when your woman is talking with other men on Instagram who want to meet her? I'm presuming that was like directed to me and a legitimate question. So one, I can speak to what you're feeling, right? So the first thing is you asked, do you feel good? Feelings are sort of important, right? They shouldn't be ignored, but we should not act necessarily on them alone. So let's think about the situation, right? So what is it when I feel bad when a woman's talking to another man? I'm feeling jealousy. I'm feeling the drive to mate, protect. I want to keep the woman for myself, right? That's what I'm feeling. Those are the evolutionary things that are important, that serve a purpose, that I should not ignore, but I shouldn't necessarily act on those alone. So do you feel good when your woman is talking with other men on Instagram who want to meet her? Well, it should be good that other men want to meet her because that means she's attractive. So I've got an attractive woman. That's great. What she chooses to do with that information, knowing that she's attractive, will either make her someone that I want to hang out more with, or someone that gets kind of like pushed to the back. That's like, oh, well, if you want to come hang out with me short term, cool. But like, I'm not interested in you. I'm not going to invest anything in you. So again, like, yes, the feelings are real and they can happen. But if you work on your abundance mentality and understanding that like there are lots of people in this world and lots of women, a new girl turns 21 every day, right? So like when you work on that, if you do it enough, then you'll basically get to a point where you'll have so much abundance that it will actually not affect you when a woman is doing, like, when they're actually doing this stuff and it's like bad and you're like, oh, okay, well, you're just like, not for me. Cool. Bye. Next. Like, so, that's the fix. Like, we can't control women. We don't want to control women. We want them to just do, right? And if they want to be part of our lives, then great. But that's all I had to say about that one.
Well, what would you say about this one? He says that he would gladly give up his Instagram for the right woman if it made her uncomfortable.
Good intent, maybe a bad action. Every case is different, but so I can break apart the pieces of it, and I think the motivations would be. So you would gladly give up your Instagram for the right woman if it made her uncomfortable. Well, the first thing I'm thinking about is, yes, most men are way more willing, at least initially, to be committing and to want to provide and protect, and like, men are the natural, like, true romantics, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I believe that's true. Yes. Like that's a good thing. However, there's a balance to be had with doing things that might make her uncomfortable by proxy and like directly doing things to make her uncomfortable. So, like, yes, I believe you. And I'm not saying if you did give up your Instagram that like it would be like the worst mistake ever. There's obviously a balance of many, many factors, but understand the effects. So if you gave up your Instagram to make her less uncomfortable, just realize if the Instagram was a method by which like hot women would show pre-selection towards you, or at least mildly attractive women, like if you were just getting any level of attention from women on Instagram and it like bothered your wife and you weren't acting on it, and you remove that, just realize that you just removed a way to inspire a little bit of dread in your wife, that like, and you removed some pre-selection. Like, so both of those things were working for the positivity of your relationship with this woman, right? She needs to know that other women want you, because that by definition means you're worth wanting. And so if you remove a mechanism by which that happens, that can be bad. Like if you're going to lots of social events and like this is already a thing that's happening, like maybe you don't need Instagram, cool, get rid of it, doesn't matter, like insignificant. But if it's the only thing, maybe think twice. You know, I don't necessarily think it's a, you know, it's. I don't know your situation, so I don't know. But these are the things that could happen.
I can tell you what would run in the female brain when you
Please.
when you give up your Instagram or whatever you're doing. Every time men give up their purpose in life, and I'm not saying that Instagram should be your purpose, right? But it starts small, and then women are like children. I'm not saying that they necessarily look like children, but they behave like children sometimes, you know. So they push on their boundaries, and they try to see where you crack. So if you give them little by little, soon you won't have any freedom, right? And you won't have any authority for your own life and for your own actions, because she will be dominating you. And this is how it usually goes. So first it starts with you giving up your social media account. Then the right woman, which if we go back to Rollo Thomas's The Rational Male book, define the right, the soulmate myth. They don't exist, right? You have what you have, and then if she fits in with your standards, then I guess she's the right woman for you, right? But there is no soulmate, neither for men nor for women, right? We look at it from the rational standpoint, and it just doesn't exist, okay? So while you're looking for the right woman, you will end up being single. You know, and the same to women. They are looking for the right man. Women are looking for Jesus, right? They end up being single. So yeah, I wouldn't rely on like looking for the right woman. Not to disregard your standards. Yeah, she should meet your bare minimum standards. And the standards for women are so low today that you can't give up your frame if you want to set up your the standards for her. You know, so only strong, rational, masculine men can hold women accountable and to a higher standard. Because most women are not that. Yes, sheep. Shame this horse. I actually have a sound drop for this. Hold on. Let me see. Hold on. Here.
I could have sworn your sound drop showed up on somebody else's live stream. Your voice. And I'm pretty sure it said that.
Shame
I don't know
this
if it was Rollo
horse.
or... Yes.
Shame this horse.
Yes, I finally got my own sound drop. Yeah. Thank you, sheep. Yeah.
You finally made it.
I finally made it. I gave it to everybody else, but I didn't upload it here on my stream so that I could use it occasionally when I need to. I need to add more sound drops, guys.
Well, that was a text alert.
Yeah. Well, it's for the community. Yeah. So don't rely on the right, like define the right woman also. Like, who is the right woman? The one who, what's her behavior like? And like the term, the right, it's going to be right in a different way for everybody. So different men will want different women. It's very subjective. Yeah, there should be certain standards, and this is what we are trying to establish here for women especially. But different men find attractive different women. Some men love horse, right? Some men love OnlyFans girls. They hang out with the OnlyFans girls. The other men, they choose, no, this is not my cookie, I'll go elsewhere, right? I'll go and maybe find a long-term commitment with one woman. Some men, they have a wife, but they also exercise their options. They are cheating on their wives. And if their wives are fine with it, I mean, this is how...
define cheating. Be sure to define that.
Well, cheating, like sleeping, having sexual intercourse, okay? let's go to the physics here. So he's cheating on his wife, but if she still is with this man, it means that she's satisfied with it, right? She doesn't leave him because she likes the lifestyle that he provides for her. There are certain reasons why she's still with this man who is cheating on her.
Now,
And
cheating, like in this context, are we talking about two people that have previously agreed to have a monogamous relationship, and one of them says, or doesn't even say, he just goes and breaks that,
and
That's
breaks
cheating.
the vow. Yeah, that's
Or
that's
are you
cheating.
referring to like generally relationships where like it's not spoken about, but it's sort of understood that like the guy's not committed to anything, but they still have a positive relationship?
Well, if they both want an open relationship, then I would just paraphrase what Glenn Lawrence was saying. Then why to bother getting married to begin with when you can just date non-exclusively? If you are committing to each other, you're supposed to be together. But due to the cultural differences, it's possible, and also economical differences, different countries view cheating differently. So I know that in Russia, women outnumber men drastically, especially with the recent events that have been happening there.
Where are all the men going?
Well, the men, they are fighting, right? So the number of available men that are high value men out of like general men, like we kill men, right? And then within those men that are left there, only 4.5% are the ones that women actually want, or maybe even less, right? So that number is shrinking too. So it's all statistics. This is why women in Russia, usually, I'm not saying that that's the case for a lot of women out there, but I've seen cases where a man would cheat, a man would actively exercise his options, and a wife would still stay with him. Because it's either that or she will end up being single. And women, by nature, they would much rather share a man than get rid of all of the resources that he has. I'm not saying this is good, okay? I'm not. I'm not suggesting that you guys should go do cheat, exercise your options, and etc. No, there should be some moral principles, but sometimes your statistics, your demographics determines that for you, whether you like it or not. I've seen women who hate this idea of men cheating on them. They don't like it, and like, look, maybe that's one of the reasons why I'm not in Russia, because I wouldn't be able to tolerate that. Okay, but a lot of women who stay there, they are agreeing subconsciously to this happening to them, and this is why you see a lot of single women out there. They can't resist the feminist propaganda. They don't want to. They still choose to be single, strong, powerful, and independent rather than sharing a man. But when the times are bad and Russia is falling apart, all things can happen. You know, we might see that polygamous relationships are going to be the thing there on the male side. So a man will be taking care of multiple women, which unofficially already is happening.
Right, and that's probably the way that it's going to continue, because it's like nobody wants to make that, like the women don't want to make it official. This is not something people talk about necessarily. This is like, when it comes down to it, most women are probably going to say, well, no, I want one man, both because it sounds correct, and two, because like they probably in an ideal world would like full commitment from one man. But in the real world, when they like have the options they have and life happens as it does, and you end up with a man who can provide like a bunch of stuff for you, and you have a very positive relationship with him, but no, like never committed to anything. You're in a very clearly non-committal relationship. Like, if you continue to have sex, you are sharing him. Like, that's just, and it might be something they just push out of their head, because it's like, well, I'm like, this is a trade-off. This is like, I get all these wonderful resources, and like I give him these things for myself because these are the things that he would want. And like that's who's to say that's a negative relationship? Like, presuming it's healthy and there's no like manipulation going on. So, you know.
Well, what the Bible was saying, it was not the norm that
Right.
people would be in polygamous relationships, right? There were the cases where, yes, a man would have multiple wives, but it was not common back then, right? Now we see that more and more women are inclined towards sharing a high-value man rather than settling down with a, I don't want to say like lesser high-value man, because women are wired to want the best that they can get, right? Women pick winners. There is nothing wrong with this, because this is how we are programmed. But at the same time, the amount of delusion, my question is, how much of this is biological programming, and how much of this is the feminist ideology? That if you look back in history, like before the 1950s, right, before the sexual revolution, women would settle down for a man. They would stay in a long-term relationship. Once she was married, she was done, right? But there were no social media. The TV wasn't that developed back then, and women had less options. Let's say they had to stick around with the man that they chose to be with. They chose to spread their legs with. Now, like, she can spin plates, basically do the same thing that men are doing, the high value men are doing, because she has become this alpha female in her mind. But we are applying male masculine standards on a woman. And then she expects, even, Emma, this is something for you to think about, even a stronger, even like the best of the best, how much stronger must he be in order to be with you? This is how we've been training women to operate. I'm not saying that this is like your mistake, your problem per se. I think it's more of a generational cycle that we are experiencing right now, because this ideology has been perpetrated for 5 generations. Even if you ask your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, they won't know, because they, even if they were married and settled, the feminism started being introduced into schools, and they started consuming this kind of content, right? That set up their belief system. And now we see women who are like, well, this is the truth. It's only the truth in her mind because she wants to believe it. It was forced into her. But if you go back to the basic biology, you will see how much it contradicts the feminist ideology. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So when I was taking psychological statistics, and I had 2 courses, oh my gosh, I was pretty good at it. I really enjoyed it. We were doing analysis. We were having multiple variables and factors. So the factors were impacting, or it was the other way around. I don't remember. You can correct me, okay, if somebody is familiar with psychological statistics. So we had the baseline, right? And then we were introducing different variables, and then we were checking the results. We were running a bunch of z-tests, t-tests, the probability tests, and we were comparing like the deviation of the behavior, like one way or the other way, depending on like the group of population. We had different samples, and we were running like a bunch of tests on them. It's fascinating. This is why I'm saying that if we introduce feminism on top of our biology, this is the end result that we are going to get. What we have right now, both on men and women, because both have been brainwashed. So men have been brainwashed to behave like defective women, and women have been brainwashed to behave like an alpha man out there. You see that, like the reverse of genders in terms of behavior. And then women are whining, bitching, and complaining that men don't behave in a masculine way anymore. They don't behave like men, because what women have done is they've castrated the men to have any authority to behave in a masculine way. There is no one without the other. And this is where women are really struggling. I'm like, ladies, you have to realize that you are the ones who have created this mess. Oh, by the way, we talked with Emma last time, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, about how feminism started, and it started in church. This is why church cannot conquer feminism, because this is where feminism was born. This is why you see a lot of men are checking out from church, and they are looking for solution, they are looking for alternative, they're looking for actionable advice from other masculine men. Yeah, guys, and by the way, I refer you to check Common Man podcast, Paul Bauer, read his book. Then I refer you to Glenn Lawrence. We do a lot of shows with Glenn, and we are going to do more reaction videos where we will debunk some silly content out there. And we will also maybe do something with RP Thor eventually. So read his book, A Dominant Masculine Presence. I'm referring you to the source. Also, go read the books by Rollo Tomasi, so that you get the idea. What we are doing here, it's kind of like general. We often get off topic, and yeah, we're just kind of summarizing the ideas.
I don't know if we get off topic. The topic just changes.
The topic changes, yeah. Well, it's so connected because, look, I see the problem in both women and men today. Both have issues. And I think that the best way to resolve those issues, or at least understand what we should and shouldn't do, like who was it, Michael was saying, it's to go back to the biblical patriarchy and actually understand what wise God has proposed for us to do, because otherwise we will be thrown into different trends, and then they will try to like revive these traditional values and all the crazy stuff that is happening right now. We are so far gone from reality, and it's just frustrating to watch, really. It's also scary. Like, what will our children do?
They'll do what we did. They'll do most likely what they see us do when they grow up.
Exactly. Yeah. So if they see more delusion, they're going to. At some point, it's just like the bubble will blow up.
Well, it's already happening. I mean, I've been doing a lot of reading and seeing a lot of videos about Generation Alpha, and the future is scary.
It is scary.
A lot of teachers are speaking out and saying that these kids are coming to school, they can't read, they can't write, they can't do basic maths. They have no respect for authority. If you tell them to sit down, they go, no, I don't want to. And that's because they're being brought up by millennials who are very much, being brought or had it forced on them through social media and the internet, that you do what you want, you do what makes you happy.
You're right.
Blah, blah, blah. And so what you're saying, if this generation is anything to go by, the future is scary.
Yeah. One of the girls from the ballet field, she sent me one video where a ballet teacher, she was crying. she was publicly
Seen it.
crying because of the attitude that she gets from these little kids. These little girls, they come to class, they totally misbehave. I was trying to invite her to join us, but I don't think that she actually got the message. She has a very big following, and she was really frustrated. And another girl, I think that you've met her, Abby. Do you remember her,
Yes.
Emma? Yes.
Yes.
So she was the one who sent me that video, and yeah, we talked about it. It's really scary. I had something similar happening to me back when I was working with kids and teenagers, and I see good teachers are checking out.
Yep.
They want nothing to do with the kids. So only the degenerate
These
teachers,
kids-
the rapists, the child abusers, the pedophiles, they are the ones who will be teaching your kids. And we see like how women rape boys, and then they get no punishment, or not to the extent that a man would. So if you look at the legal system, for the same crime committed, a woman gets a leeway. She gets a softer punishment than a male pedophile does. You see, and where is the equality? Tell me, where is it?
I mean, that's up there with one of the worst crimes, isn't it? So, it should be the same punishment, really.
There should be, because she technically ruined the life of a boy. But in our society, we don't value men's life on the same level we value women's life, even though, if objectively speaking, men are more productive than women. Men are the ones who are maintaining the infrastructure. Men are the ones who are building the roads. Men are the ones who are building the houses. Men are the ones who are climbing these dangerous electricity towers, like Sam. Like, men bring more value to our society. The only value, objectively speaking, women can bring is to pop up kids so that our human race doesn't die. But no,
and that should not go undervalued.
Yeah, right. But she wants to be a nail tech, making a lot of money and being a strong, powerful, and independent woman out there. When society and financial system fall apart, we will see where she will be with your nail services. I'm not saying that, like, okay, fine, right? Women spend a lot of money on beauty. Maybe when the times are great, sure, your services might be valuable. But you need to be friends with your head. At least, like, watch what happens around you. Yeah, where we are headed, it's scary. And I remember how kids were degrading. I'm not saying that they can't read or write. Well, and it was maybe the millennial generation still that I was dealing with. Maybe who goes after millennials? Generation Z?
Yeah.
Yeah. They are the ones that they started to degrade. And then every year I could see, we did it for how many years, like 10 years, that we were taking different groups out to study foreign languages. Each year was worse. Each year they would treat you with so much more disrespect. They were just unbearable.
What do you think? I mean, if like the Generation Z and Generation Alpha are this bad, what are their kids going to be like?
Who knows?
Well, they won't have any, because by that point we're just going to be having sex with
right.
robots, and then all the women are going to be having sex with like 3 dudes.
Oh,
Yeah.
don't! That was a conversation I had recently. Sorry, excuse me.
We will be androgynous.
It was about sex robots, and for men, and the girlfriend was getting a bit upset and saying, "No, that's really wrong and that's sick and all this." And he's like, "It's no different to what you've got." I mean, women have a disembodied penis, and get pleasure off of that. Obviously a rubber one, but the women are getting upset that the men have now got sex robots.
Well, right, because then, like, where's their agency?
I mean, it's no difference, is it really?
Yeah.
It's
well, I mean,
yeah. Anyway,
I don't really know, but
Yeah. It's scary. It's scary. Maybe I heard it, and this is why I taught Spanish to the kids here in school for one semester. I did not survive for longer, and then I'm like, I'm out of here.
I wouldn't want to be a teacher.
It's just so crazy. I wasn't
I'm in a
actually
school
like
anyway.
a full-time teacher. It was after afternoon activities for them. After the school, they had this special class where they would show up and the sad thing is that there will be always some smart guys, the people who would think rationally to some extent in comparison to everybody else, but maybe one person in the group of 15 students. You know what I mean? So they will be so rare. So rare. Humanity needs these people in order for us to survive, really. But because most people refuse to challenge their belief system, they blindly believe what they are being told. I've seen a lot of entitled girls there too, back when I was teaching Spanish, or like even dealing with the students back in Europe. And what this ballet teacher was saying, that these 5-year-old girls, wow, like I should send you her video. I think she was on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok, but that video was posted on TikTok where she was just like crying and saying, like, parents, like, watch what your kids are doing. Do you even bother what kind of homework they get from school? And she was like hysterical because like they wouldn't listen to her. They wouldn't even, they would come to a ballet class where she's supposed to teach them the technique, right? And how to be aesthetically beautiful with a proper posture alignment. It's a discipline, right? But no, they have no understanding. They're like, they don't even stay in place. And yeah, you can watch like the whole video. It's not a very long video.
Sheep's comment.
Okay, here. Welcome to Emma's adult toy shop. Is there anything I can help you find today? Oh, disembodied.
That's got to be the most technical term for a dildo that I've ever heard. I'm not gonna lie.
Disembodied.
I blame the ADHD.
Yeah. Like they are already working on the robots to replace women.
Exactly. This
Like,
is what
if women don't, hold on, I have a thought. If women don't want to have kids, what's the purpose? Okay, a box. Here you go. We can create a box technologically, so much better than that woman's box out there. That wouldn't spread the diseases because of your high body count. There will be fewer risks for men. Look how advantageous it is for men. Ladies, you are being replaced. Your pussy, your box, right, is being replaced with this robot. And men will do it. Because it will be like better for them. Less legal risk. All of his body parts will stay in place.
Yeah, there's tons of benefits. I mean, no STDs. Like, just
Yeah.
you don't have to deal with a real woman, just a programmed one. That's probably been programmed by a man because it takes engineering.
Right. You see?
So you're actually hearing it from a man.
Yeah. I mean, they don't use the term in the marketing materials, but they probably should. We have a lot of shoots today on the show. Sure as hell it will be easier and more convenient. You see, Paul? Yeah.
Here's a thought. It's gonna be the super top G's, right? That like every second of their day is planned. It's productive, right? They're taking this and that, right? Like they don't have time to go like, meet a girl, just go bang it out in the closet and then right back to work,
Yeah, and imagine No emotional availability for men. Nobody will suck his brain. You see? How great would it be? I mean, if I were a man, I would like sign me up for it, because I see what women are doing and I don't like what women are doing. Yeah. I prefer the term synthetic manhood.
That's probably a much better way of putting it.
Sophisticated audience, yeah. Yeah.
My phrase sounds like it's aiming for a certain demographic, and we really don't want to go there.
Yeah, true. Well, I'm sure smart men will come up with something like that. Isn't it kind of represented in today's Sigma chat archetype?
Which thing is what represented? I'm not sure.
Yeah, could you specify, Pavel? Maybe the synthetic manhood he's talking about them.
Yeah, I wonder he's talking about the sex robots.
Sex robots.
Oh, not
yeah.
needing the women. Oh, so no. So what actually usually happens? Not that I'm like by any means of like the top G's or whatever, is like if you're just one of those guys that's always like knocking stuff and taking care of stuff out, you have lots of resources, and that just attracts women. So what happens is women just like want to be around you, and so they're just going to end up in your house, or they're going to end up in your apartment or whatever you got going on, right? And they're going to like just want to like help you, like let me like clean this for you, let me like cook for you, and then like they'll just be wanting to like always wanting to like have sex with you. So it's like, oh, okay, well, I've got 5 minutes, knock it out, like that's probably what happens. They're not using robots. Like men would much prefer a real woman, and all of the things that comes with to a robot in terms of like ultimate experience. You're not going to get the same experience from them.
Well, we were designed to complement each other. Men and women are better together than they are apart. But the way we are headed, guys, it's only a speculation. Okay, what we are thinking here is what will come to us in the future if we keep up with all the BS that is happening there. And Rollo Tomasi actually has a video on Sigmas. He calls them the how did he call them? The ones that believe that they are special and unique, and they are out of the market game. They are not involved in it. Oh, he calls them sociopaths. Have you watched that video, Sam?
I can't say that I have.
He has like a 4-hour-long video. It was sometime last year that he did it. Very good video. I recommend you to watch it, about the Sigma man mentality. And he did call them sociopaths because these are the men who don't want to be participating on the market, even though, guys, it doesn't matter whether you want or not, you still are. The reality is that if you just think of yourself that you don't want to get involved on the marketplace, women will still judge you. And yeah, you should watch that whole video. I should probably rewatch it too, because it's been a while since I watched it. I like to rewatch some videos that are really good. Basically, a lone wolf version of alpha. Yeah. There was also another video where guys were I think Rollo was debunking one of the videos that was praising the Sigmas as if they are so special and unique, and like the lone wolves, they don't need the community, they don't need anybody, they are there for themselves, and they're kind of strong and independent. All men need community. Men need a good, strong, masculine brotherhood that would give them actionable advice and direct them. So it's essential also for women. Women don't have it, right? What we are trying to do here with Emma and Melody, and maybe some other women who would like to join us, it's to build a similar community that Red Pill is offering to men, but something similar to women, but also bringing women down to earth and telling them that, look, ladies, what you're doing doesn't work. You know,
Gotta know that.
basically hold them to higher standards. Yeah. But good luck convincing women to join us. So yeah, we are struggling with it. We are kind of like, okay, guys, if you actually want some advice, or I also suggest you follow Nuclear Caudillo. He does very good videos. And then Paul recently, this is more for Michael, who was here before, text message banter. Check out that video too, because he was giving specific examples of how to write messages to women so that you would close a deal, right? So that she would be interested in meeting you in person. Because a lot of men, they are kind of like playing alone, and women suck up all the juices from men, and then they get to the point that women are just like playing and they don't want to actually meet with the guy. And a lot of it depends on how you approach women. Like Sam said, that you need to vet a woman and make sure that use social media to your advantage, because you can find out a lot of information about women based on what kind of content they are posting there. And then based on what you know, based on the information that you collect about her on the social media, you can reach out to her and, like ask her a question, or just watch that video. I think that Paul did a great job giving you some examples and answering to your questions. Yeah. Good. Okay. Well, I think we've covered a lot of topics today, guys. My stomach is making weird noises. I haven't eaten yet.
I haven't either. Well, not since lunchtime.
Yeah, unless you guys want to talk about something else. Let's move our White Knight topic to the next Saturday, to the upcoming Saturday. I would like to dive in deeper into the article that I've actually written. If you have a chance, go read it and tell me what you think about it, so we can talk about it. What about men bragging about themselves as a way of confidence? Okay, Sam, for you.
Men should not brag. Like, men, when you're on a date, your goal as a man is to get the woman to talk about herself and you talk about things. If you have great things that are going on in your life, she will discover them. And frankly, she doesn't really want you to tell her about them. She just wants to discover them. She wants to be like, oh, he's got 500 trampolines in his backyard. Oh my God, I'm gonna invite all my friends over. That sounds fun. Or like, you just like, take her home to your 5-car garage and you found out she's got 4 other Lamborghinis. Like, oh, they'd much rather just discover that than you're on the date and it's like, yeah, I've got 4 Lamborghinis back home. Like, which one of those is more exciting? Like, come on. So yeah, no bragging. That is bragging is qualifying, right? When you are bragging, you are saying, I have a cool thing. I want you to tell me that I have a cool thing. I want your approval, right? You don't need approval. We don't qualify.
Yeah. And it's also a lack of confidence. Maybe women will view it as a lack of confidence, because when a man is masculine, he doesn't need to brag how masculine and how great he is. He's just demonstrating it. So as Rollo keeps saying, don't explicate, demonstrate.
Mm-hmm. I went on a nightmare date from hell a few months ago. And,
my.
he was bigging himself up the whole time. He was name dropping. He was like sort of bragging about money and all this. And I'm thinking, he just came across as a little fish in a big pond trying to be with the big fish. And I was like, men that have got money don't need to brag about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I did see straight through all of it, and I'm like, you're trying to make yourself look like you're something, but actually you're nothing at all. And then I went back to his place.
It's also entirely possible that he does have all of those things, but he ruined the experience because like you talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Men don't help themselves. They think that all women. This comes back to hypogamy, and I actually mentioned it in the article, also on my Substack. Hypogamy is not a straitjacket, and a lot of men, especially the ones in power, they don't understand it. They think that, oh, just because they have the money, they can use their power and squeeze the compliance and loyalty from people. It's not always the case. Even if people admit publicly that sure, okay, you are a king or whatever, they they might still feel a lot of contempt for you. So be careful when you use your power, and usually people who have the actual power of influence, they don't
They don't need to brag about it.
they don't need to brag about it. They don't need to prove to the world that they are the best. They just do their thing. They're quietly doing their thing, and then people around them, they have respect for them because it comes from the bottom of their heart, not because they are forced to respect someone. They are forced to comply. This is why when we talk about sincere desire or genuine desire in women, you can't force it. It has to come from her. If she doesn't respect you, if she doesn't love you, you need to accept that and move on, or you need to understand her hypogamy. Why did she select you to begin with? Because female hypogamy is not a straight jacket. If you have the money, if you have a high social status, and you have some game, right? You know how to deal with women. A woman can close her eyes on your physique. So you don't have to be a super ripped, masculine man out there. If you have the muscles and the game, but you don't have the money, she might still be interested in you, because you still have to have the bare minimum of money so that you are not the Don Juan type of man. You still have to prove that you are capable of making some money. It just won't be the determining factor for her. She will choose you based on your muscles, based on your physique, and based on your game, right?
I apologise if you can hear the cat in the background. He's just eaten and he tends to go meow after he's eaten. So he's in the other room, but
that's okay.
He come this direction. So I apologise now.
That's fine. Yeah, no worries. You see, hypogamy is not a straight jacket. You need to know, like, what are your advantages and why a woman selected you, and if she selected you for those things, just like keep those things going.
I find that if a man is bragging about money and that he's got the best of everything, I just find that a huge turn off, to be honest. I'm not, I've said before, I'm not someone that's interested in chasing money. I would rather who the person is and how they treat other people and how they live, as a good person. But if they've got to be bragging about money, it screams low confidence. And it just screams to me that you're more interested in the material side of the world. There may not be a lot of depth to you. And in my view, there's a whole lot more in this world to focus on than the whole money thing. Don't get me wrong. I know we need money, and I'm not saying let's all be skint at all. But if that's the way you're going, oh, I've got this and I've got that and I've got the big, the best everything.
Well, congratulations, good for you.
Yeah, good for you.
You can brag maybe on a different target audience. It works on certain types of women. What are you saying, Emma? Sorry.
What do you buy when you've bought the best of everything? You can't buy love, and you can't buy happy. Well, you can buy a certain type of love, but you can't buy happiness. And
yeah, Ashton has.
You can buy love in 15-minute increments.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. A certain type of love. It's
Yeah, a lot of men are bragging about their confidence. Well,
if you've got to keep bragging about your confidence, are you really that confident, or are you just
yeah.
trying to, or is he just trying to prove something?
Well, some women, they go for the visual, and this is what I actually emphasized in my article too. I covered a lot of topics there, guys. You can go read it and tell me what you think. Women started evaluating men based on the male criteria too, how historically men were evaluating women. So if a woman sees a masculine man, she might even go for him. She might see him as her possible mate. If she sees that a man is visually bragging about how many cars he has, or his great social status on social media, a lot of women will go for it because this is what they value now. They only value the visual. They only value the aesthetics. They don't
Sorry,
value so cute. They don't value the actions of a man. You see, they only say like, oh, if he tells me those things, and then he portrays himself visually as a strong man out there, and he brags about how great he is. This can turn on a lot of women, but this will be the women who will be easily turned off as well the moment he stops doing it or something changes. These are not very reliable women, I should say. These are not very consistent women that are turned on only by the visual aspect of what a man represents. So yeah, I understand like why women want it. I don't think that women should evaluate men based only on the physical aspect. There should be more to it. There should be more things to evaluate men on, not just their money and physical appearance. But it seems to be that these two are the determining factors. Of course, Api Thor also mentioned in his book there are all the sixes, and there are like six sixes that he mentioned. I outlaid them in my article. Let me just quickly show it to you guys so you can check it. Okay. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes, okay. This is a pretty long read, okay? So take your time. I'm just going to scroll down to these ones, okay? So R.P. Thor, in his book, A Dominant Masculine Frame, describes the qualifying requirements of modern women for a perfect male mate. At least 6 feet tall, at least, six-figure income, has abdominal muscles that form a six-pack abs, at least 6 inches below the belt, drives a 600 horsepower vehicle, at least 6 months since his last serious relationship. Yeah, and here I'm talking about the hypogamy, how this is the ideal man, right? But women will close their eyes if a man is not meeting all of these criteria, but he's really good at something. Like he has to be above average. Let's say he's good in finances, media, TV, engineering, technology, software, blue collar worker, right? Women are likely to find this man attractive if he either has the muscles or game, or ideally both. So, ideally, women will be looking for this, but this is why they need to come down to earth to realize what their sexual market value actually is, and how much of this, all of the sixes, they can demand from men. You see? So, yeah.
Wouldn't it be convenient if like the CDC started to not only like measure all these like money making all these factors of men, but also like now every year as a man you have to go in and get like your dick measured. That way they can include that in the statistics.
Like how many women? I know quite a few women who. Oh gosh, they're so kind of stupid. Who told me that their husbands have very small dick, and but they have other things, like they know how to talk, they know how to behave in public, they have high social status, and these men don't seem to have problem finding women. So you see, different women will value different things. Like Emma mentioned, she's not that concerned about the money. It's not to say that money doesn't matter to her. No, you still have to meet the bare minimum, right? And a bare minimum for each girl is going to be, it's a separate question, okay? We can get into it next time. Bare minimum for some girls will be at least $500,000 a year, maybe even more. This is your bare minimum. Well, it also depends on how delusional she is. Emma seems to be pretty much down to earth, so maybe her thresholds won't be as high. But for different women, it's going to be different things. You see. So we can try to kind of standardize it, but it's pretty subjective, okay? And yeah, sure, it depends also on your sexual market value. If she is realistic with your sexual market value, then she will pick the guy within your range, right? Maybe slightly up. If let's say if she's a 5 and she picks a guy who is a 6, that's actually healthy. That's actually good, because a guy has to be better than her. Then she will look up to this guy and she will have respect for this guy, right? If she marries equal and has respect, it's not very often. It doesn't happen very often because of our nature, how we are wired, right? We always want a man to be wiser, smarter, older, or more experienced. So yeah, interesting stuff. Oh, we have somebody new here showing up. I got plenty to make up for my modesty. Oh my gosh.
Welcome to the chat.
Fetish. Yeah, I should have read it before. Yeah, guys, let me
read it in your head before you say it out loud, Elena.
I know. Well, stupid people, what can I say? Yeah, and I'm kind of tired now. You wore me out, guys.
It's been nearly 2 hours.
It's almost 2 hours, yeah. Yeah. We are pretty much done here. Cool. So unless anybody has anything else to add.
I do not.
You do not.
You joining us for Pilates tomorrow, Sam?
What, yeah?
I don't know exactly what my schedule contains tomorrow, but I do know that I'm not going to show the internet how currently non-flexible I am. That's not happening.
Oh, you were unflexible. Last time we met, you were very flexible. Wow. You were showing us some aerial...
Elena, these are things we don't say out loud over the internet, for people will misinterpret what they mean.
They already think you are my Instagram husband, guys. Here you go.
Oh my god. I'm gonna clip that.
Sure. Yeah, well, I mean, they were showing us the aerial yoga. It's serious. He is actually is in a good shape. This is why I'm. You don't have to show up on the video. That's okay, Sam. Just come say hi to the girls. Melody will be running this class tomorrow, so come join us.
I'm sure she would love to say hi.
Oh, I'm sure she would. Yeah, she would love to see you. It's been a while, you guys. You haven't met her since That was last time we ran a show together that you managed to talk to each other. It's been a while. Yeah, this is all I'm saying. So just, you know, if you have time and desire, show up and say hi.
It's not that hard to pop in, add a comment or two. So
yeah.
I'll pump the algorithm for you guys.
Thank you, Sam. We appreciate your help and your support. Oh, guys, by the way, please follow Sam. I'm going to add him to the description box so that you can follow his YouTube channel. And follow Emma on Instagram.
I'll put a link. I've got the YouTube channel, and I have a school server for my bungalows for bachelors thing. I'll drop that link in the private chat.
Put both, yeah. Put both so that people can find you. And yeah, join us for more classes, interesting discussions like this. And we don't always do this. Sometimes we debunk stuff. I actually need to get back to my presentations so that we can dig up some content from there. I'm not going to show you the people's faces because the purpose here is not to judge them on a personal level. The purpose is to evaluate what they are saying. Okay, so we are only challenging the message. We are not attacking anybody personally. And if you are new here and you're watching this show, read the disclaimer in the description box. Okay. So that you, okay, Sam, can you put it in the public chat?
I'm putting it in both, yeah.
Oh, you did put it in both? Okay, let me see. I don't see it. Okay, I'll copy it. Hold on, guys. 1 second, let me do it. Copy. What's the weather like in where you are right now?
I am in Texas. You don't have to worry about doxing me. Texas is pretty damn big, so good luck finding me. You know, it's pretty nice. It was 30s this morning, but as soon as the sun comes out, it pops up to around 70. So
it's 0
I
degrees.
enjoy it.
Wow, this is so good. I wish we went to Texas for winter, but then summer is so crazy there. Go back to Washington.
Yes,
for
indeed.
some, yeah. Because we went there in September and it was really nice. Good weather in September. Now we have snow and it's really cold. It's very windy. So sometimes it kind of like lifts up the stuff and flies it around. Not on a big scale, but still, you know, I wouldn't want to be outside. Even though I love snow, I actually miss the snow. So we have quite some snow here. And this winter has been so weird. It has been warm until now.
We've had a really wet one so far, and then it literally switched from pissing it down constantly to Arctic conditions.
Okay.
And that wind has got a real bite to it as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So it's pretty cold in here. Well, anyway, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Join me for piano practice tomorrow. I'll run it at our usual time at 11:15 in the morning. And oh, Sam, did you know that I got a strike?
Why are you getting strikes, Elena? We don't talk about anything controversial on this channel.
Yeah, right. Not at all. I got a strike for, actually, you won't believe it. I posted one song. It was on the piano that I played, and then it received a strike and it was removed from my channel.
Oh, piano, not even for like.
Not even. This is why I'm so bummed. I'm like seriously, out of everything that we are doing here, this is the one that.
Why did it get a strike? Because you were just playing a piano, right?
Well, I was playing the popular song by the Eagles. Don't ever play Eagles. They will strike you.
So don't even like play it on your piano.
Don't even play it on your piano. This is how I did it. This is what I did. It was Hotel California. that
Wow.
got a strike. And I'm like, I even transcribed it into A minor, but it doesn't matter because of the song. So the algorithm has picked up, and I didn't even get a lot of views for it. But the moment that they detected it, they don't even give you a warning. They just like, strike, here you go. And you get 2 more strikes and then you're terminated.
I thought there was always a license for covering songs. I didn't know that was a thing.
Some songs, but the law is so weird, and you have to be careful. So if you play the piano or any other musical instrument, just be careful, check it so that you don't get in trouble with the copyright.
I know YouTube's pretty hot on it, isn't it? Because I mean, I see like a lot of
Ooh.
content creators, excuse me, especially like reaction, channels. And if they're playing TikToks, they usually have to play them silently if there's music on there.
Yeah, but usually they like, it's so weird. I usually get a copyright mark that if I'm running a live stream and I'm playing some popular songs, they usually say that, okay, they are still visible to the public. It doesn't affect the ID of your YouTube channel, but once you become monetized, you're going to split the benefits, right? You're going to split the money with this content creators or whoever puts
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah, but in the case of that music, that song, I immediately got a strike. I didn't even get a warning. So it's a serious thing. I should have listened to my husband. He told me not to post it. So yeah, listen to your husbands, ladies.
I've got to find one first.
Yeah, the one time I don't listen to him, and here you go. Like, my husband is right most of the time. I should have listened to him. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's upsetting. I agree, Ashton. It was just like, out of all of the other content, I kind of went into this one. Yeah, I didn't realize, because I used to play different songs, and also pretty popular songs from other musicians and bands, but this group in particular, just stay away from it for your own safety. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Sam, for your time and for being patient with us and joining our conversation. And thank you, Emma. Always a pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing you next week. And let me take us out here. Oh, please, guys, like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel a lot. And leave your comments. Maybe at least a few words. It's good for the engagement, okay? And I'm taking us out. Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Mm-hmm.